Here we are, 16 years later. They have no idea what a wonderful daughter and wonderful wife and wonderful friend and wonderful aunt they've lost. They have no idea. Because they can't afford to remember me. They can't afford to remember who I was. If they ever could even see it. You know, I'm sure that they did. I'm sure that especially my husband did see it, because that's why he was drawn to me in the first place. But by the time he was doing his discard and everything, I had become somebody completely different. He doesn't look back on me and think, I really screwed up because she was really a sweet person and was so devoted to me. He doesn't think that at all. He's got some completely different story in his mind about who I was, and it's reinforced. He hasn't had a single person, I'm sure, in 16 years try and remind him about who I really was. Those are really harsh things to deal with. And some of the, you just learn to be completely, totally self-contained when you start realizing, when you were living for other people's approval so much, and then you realize what a totally worthless and meaningless and go nowhere prospect that was. Because whenever he was going to discard me, he was going to make up who I was anyway. And so I live on in his mind, or to anybody that he would talk to, he would tell them that all these things have nothing to do with why our marriage ended, and that's what he would tell them. And he would play himself as a victim, as we know. We all know he would do all the same things that everybody else would do. All of your partners and stuff, they play themselves as victims. My parents play themselves as victims. So here we are, 16 years later. My son has died. My whole family is getting together for my niece's birthday, and I'm excluded. Does it hurt me? It does. It does hurt me. Just with what a shame it all is, I know that my son went because he wanted to be there for his cousins. And, he's only 19, and up until last year, he had to go to, he had to do whatever, that kind of stuff. And so this year, I started being a lot more open than I ever was before, with this channel, and then with telling him, and I started to tell him things like that, what the truth is about things. He felt awkward about going. He felt like it was weird being there. And I'm probably going to tell him that in the future, if you just want to say to your cousin that you really want to get together with her, but you feel awkward over there, that's completely fine. And in fact, I know he wasn't betraying me at all, but to appease his family and to not lose, to not feel like he was not being there for his cousin or whatever, they put him in his position of having to be disloyal to me. And I think that for his own sake, really, honestly, he needs to not do that. He needs to have integrity. And I think that the reason it felt weird to him being there was because he knew he wasn't acting in integrity. So I'm probably going to talk to him about that. Because, at some point, we have to fight for who we are, what matters to us, what our values are, what the truth is, And so they're not in integrity, any of them. It hurts me. Of course it hurts me. But to keep that whole superficial facade going, they have to just lie about me and lie about what happened and lie about what happened to my son. None of them take any responsibility for any of it. And the reason I'm excluded is because I would force them to. Because I hold us all accountable. And that's the reason that they have to exclude me. And so, what ends up happening is I think there's a special sort of place the universe holds for those of us who have had this kind of thing happen, because it is a very lonely walk to take, because to have integrity in a narcissistic family is to know that you're going to be exiled.